gosh, you guys, this is going to be one of those videos that it hits different. Seriously, imagine feeling sluggish, achy, and just not yourself, and you're doing everything right, or so you think. What if I told you there are some healthy foods, yes, healthy foods, that could be secretly sabotaging your body, especially your legs and joints, the very things you rely on for movement, for life, for feeling strong and vibrant? This isn't just about what you eat, it's about understanding how your body works, how these seemingly innocent choices can have profound long-term effects. You absolutely need to watch this until the very end, because the final insight, the last piece of this puzzle, is the most powerful and honestly the most shocking. It could completely change how you think about your diet and your well-being. Don't miss out on this game-changing information. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the Nature's Plate channel and press the bell button so you don't miss anything new about what's healthy for you. And tell us about your experience with this in the comments so we can begin. Silent saboteurs. Okay, let's just dive right into it, because this is a topic that truly gets under my skin in the best way possible, because it's about empowering you with knowledge. We're so often told, eat your fruits and vegetables, they're good for you. And yes, absolutely, a vast majority of them are. But just like anything in life, there are nuances, there are exceptions, and there are things we need to be aware of. What if some of those seemingly harmless fruits are actually contributing to inflammation, that silent saboteur that wreaks havoc on your joints and muscles, especially in your legs? It's a tough pill to swallow, I know, because we've been conditioned to believe all fruits are created equal, a kind of nutritional free pass. But trust me, your body is a complex system, and what works for one person or one fruit might not work for another, or for certain physiological processes that impact your mobility and comfort. This isn't about fear-mongering, it's about informed choices. The real issue here isn't necessarily that these fruits are bad in and of themselves. It's about their unique biochemical composition and how that interacts with your body's delicate balance, particularly concerning inflammation. Think about it. Chronic inflammation is the root cause of so many discomforts and serious conditions, from nagging joint pain to more severe mobility issues. And when your legs, your foundation feel weak or your joints ache, your entire quality of life suffers. You can't enjoy walks, exercise becomes a chore, and even simple daily tasks feel monumental. We're talking about feeling less agile, less energetic, and just generally bogged down. It's a ripple effect that starts with what you put into your body. Understanding this connection is absolutely crucial for anyone who wants to maintain their physical freedom and vitality as they age, or even if you're experiencing issues now. So, let's peel back the layers here. What exactly are we looking for in these fruits that could be problematic? It often comes down to compounds like lectins, oxalates, and certain types of sugars, particularly fructose, when consumed in excess. Now, before you panic and throw out your entire fruit bowl, hear me out. The dose makes the poison, right? And for most people, in moderation, these compounds are not a huge deal. But if you're predisposed to joint issues, if you already have inflammation, or if you're consuming a high quantity of these specific fruits regularly, they can absolutely exacerbate the problem. It's about building awareness, not creating an irrational fear. Your body sends signals. We just need to learn how to interpret them and make adjustments accordingly. This isn't just theory, it's what I've seen in countless individuals making profound changes in their well-being. Inflammation fighters. Now you might be thinking, but fruits are full of antioxidants and vitamins. How can they be bad? And you're absolutely right. Many fruits are powerhouses of nutrition. That's why this topic is so nuanced and, frankly, why it's often overlooked. We tend to paint with broad strokes when it comes to nutrition, categorizing entire food groups as universally good or bad. But true health optimization requires a much more refined approach. We need to identify the specific components within certain fruits that, for some individuals, can trigger an inflammatory response that targets connective tissues, like those in your knees, hips, and ankles. It's not the fruit as a whole that's the enemy. It's understanding its specific impact on your unique biochemistry. This is where personalized nutrition truly comes into play, moving beyond the one-size-fits-all advice that often leaves people feeling frustrated and still experiencing discomfort. The key here is recognizing that not all inflammation is created equal, and not all anti-inflammatory foods are equally effective for everyone. Some fruits, while seemingly healthy, might contain compounds that, instead of reducing inflammation, actually provoke it in sensitive individuals. This could be due to genetic predispositions, gut microbiome imbalances, or existing autoimmune conditions. It's a complex interplay, and when we talk about weakening legs and harming joints, we're not just talking about temporary aches, we're talking about potential long-term degradation of cartilage, reduced synovial fluid, and chronic pain that can severely limit your mobility and independence. This is serious stuff, and it's why I'm so passionate about bringing this information to you. Your ability to move freely is precious. Let's protect it. So, what are we looking for? Think about fruits that are particularly high in certain types of sugars that can fuel inflammatory pathways, or those with a high concentration of specific compounds like purines, which can contribute to uric acid buildup, a known culprit in joint pain. It's about being discerning. This isn't about eliminating all fruits, absolutely not. It's about being strategic with your choices, especially if you're experiencing symptoms. For example, some fruits can be surprisingly acidic, and while acidity in itself isn't always bad, for some, it can exacerbate existing inflammatory conditions. It's a delicate balance, and understanding these subtle distinctions is what empowers you to make truly informed decisions for your body, rather than just blindly following general advice. Hidden culprits. Let's get down to brass tacks. The first fruit that often surprises people is oranges. Now wait, before you freak out, I'm not saying oranges are universally bad. They're packed with vitamin C, which is an antioxidant superhero, right? Absolutely. But here's the kicker. For some individuals, particularly those prone to inflammatory conditions, the high acidity and certain sugar profiles in oranges can actually trigger or exacerbate joint pain. Think about it. If your body is already in an inflammatory state, adding more acidic compounds can sometimes be like throwing fuel on the fire. It's not about the vitamin C, it's about the overall biochemical impact. And when you're consuming orange juice, which strips away the fiber and concentrates the sugars, you're getting an even more potent dose that can contribute to systemic inflammation, affecting those delicate joints in your legs and elsewhere. It's about context and individual response. Next up, we have pineapple. Again, another fruit lauded for its health benefits, specifically bromelain, an enzyme known for its anti-inflammatory properties. So how can pineapple be on this list? Here's the catch. While bromelain can be anti-inflammatory, pineapple is also quite high in sugar, particularly fructose, and excessive fructose consumption can, for many people, contribute to increased uric acid levels and trigger inflammatory responses, especially in the joints. It's a delicate balance. If you're sensitive to sugars or have issues with gout or arthritis, the sugar content in pineapple might outweigh the benefits of its bromelain, especially if you're consuming large quantities. It's not a black and white situation. It's about understanding your body's unique response and not just relying on general health claims. Then there's mango. Oh, how many of us love a juicy, sweet mango? They're delicious, undeniably so. But here's the thing. Mangoes are incredibly high in sugar, natural sugars, yes, but sugar nonetheless. And for individuals struggling with insulin resistance, blood sugar regulation issues, or chronic inflammation, that sugar load can be problematic. When your body is constantly dealing with spikes in blood sugar, it can lead to increased oxidative stress and inflammation, directly impacting the health of your joints and contributing to that feeling of weakness in your legs. It's not about demonizing fruit. It's about recognizing that some fruits have a higher glycemic load than others and can, therefore, have a more significant impact on inflammatory pathways for sensitive individuals. Pondering plums. Moving on, let's talk about plums. These can be a bit of a sneaky one. While plums are generally considered healthy and are a good source of fiber, they also contain salicylates, which are natural compounds. Now, for most people, salicylates are fine, but for some individuals who are sensitive to them, or who already have a high salicylate load from other foods, consuming plums can trigger inflammatory responses. This isn't a widespread issue, but it's something to be aware of if you're experiencing unexplained joint pain or muscle weakness and you're regularly consuming plums or other high salicylate foods. It's about being a detective when it comes to your own body and listening to the subtle signals it sends you. Every person is different, and what might be a superfood for one could be a trigger for another. And finally, this one might surprise many of you: grapes. especially red grapes, often lauded for resveratrol. Here's the deal. Grapes are incredibly high in sugar. We're talking about a significant sugar load, particularly if you're consuming them by the handful, which is easy to do because they're so delicious and bite-sized. That high sugar content can contribute to systemic inflammation and blood sugar dysregulation, which, as we've discussed, can directly impact joint health and lead to feelings of weakness and fatigue in your legs. It's not about the resveratrol, it's about the overall package. And let's not forget grape juice, which is essentially concentrated sugar water, devoid of the beneficial fiber that helps mitigate some of the sugar impact. Being mindful of portion sizes and frequency is absolutely critical here. So, there you have it. 5 fruits that, while generally healthy, can be hidden culprits contributing to weakened legs and joint pain for some individuals. It's not about throwing out all your fruit, it's about understanding the nuances, listening to your body, and making informed choices. If you're experiencing these symptoms, consider trying an elimination diet with these fruits for a few weeks and see if you notice a difference. Your body is constantly trying to tell you something. It's time we started listening more closely. This journey to optimal health is about constant learning and adaptation, and every piece of information helps you build a more robust, pain-free life. Don't let these seemingly innocent choices sabotage your mobility and joy.